Tzury, or Mircea Serediuc or a story maker. Most of the people say that you can become a storyteller because you're telling stories. I believe that in life you need to make stories to tell them. And that's the drive that I have in life until now, to create stories that will last. Things that, I don't know, from my perspective, I try to make my life worth living. I want my life to be worth mentioning. I created, I don't know, projects that will help me to get in first rows on Google when you write Tzury and things like this, because I believe that I am in good shape, good health, and I can find resources to help others do good. With these things in mind, I'm now here in front of you, but going back years ago, when I was 7 years old, I was in the first grade, and in Romania we have like this idea of creating those signs to help us understand how to write. So my mother, we would call it bastonașe. We don't have that word in English, so it's very hard to tell you.
Sticks.
Yeah, but it's like you have sticks, what? Curvy sticks. Yeah, curvy sticks and these things. I was a kid, I was in first grade, and I was doing homework with my mother. At a certain point, I wasn't doing it well. I wasn't, in my life all the time, I'm not good at following rules and orders, and I'm quite a rebel. Even my mother is telling me that all the time, at every dinner in Christmas. So, yeah, when all the family is gathering, she is having that speech that is helping me to have like big self-esteem in front of all. Going back when I was a kid, it was a very hard moment, because I was doing them and my mother was like, yeah, but you're not doing it correctly and blah blah blah, and she started to blame a lot of things on me. And at a certain point, she goes out of my room, she goes out of the house, and she left. I was a kid. I was 7 years old, I didn't know what happened, and I was shocked. My mother left, abandoned me, because I wasn't doing rounded sticks properly. This story haunted me even today. She came back after 1 hour with a big cookie because she went to a store and buy us a cookie and enjoy it after I finished the rounded sticks. But left a big scar in my heart, in my soul, because I felt abandoned. That's one of the biggest fears of kids. When they are feeling abandoned, all goes away. So with this thing in mind, I tried to be the perfect kid, to fit in the perfect place, to be the perfect student and so on. But I didn't. The thing is, I started to play games because people there didn't abandon me, I didn't know them, they were like, I don't know, a hero that I find and he will help me and so on. So I became addicted to games because in that place no one will abandon me. Then I started to do an acting club because I wanted to have my own friends with my own ideas to accept me who I am. Going like this, all my life, I tried to fit in places. But to fit in places where it's easy. Because it's easy because I'm using who I am. The skills that I harnessed doing what I like. I was raised by my grandma talking in front of her class because she was a teacher, and I was going in front and saying poems, and all the kids were clapping because I was 3 years old who overachieved my potential. I was 3 years and saying Eminescu's poems. Then I went to school and I became the Santa Claus for the class each Christmas. And I was in front of people and giving presents, and all the people were happy. So going with this path, I just loved to be on the stage. I just loved to be here in front and talk with people and share my ideas and so on. Then I went to university I wanted to become an actor, but I didn't have money to pay. So who is paying? That's the person who is ruling. So I did automatics and computer science. In that time, I started to trainings. I went to Harvard summer schools. I went to, I don't know, a lot of conferences where I started to use my skills of talking in front of people with, I don't know, different topics, leadership, public speaking. And then I finished university and went in a corporate job. And my life started to become like, I don't know, being a rebel, corporate job. Doing rules for others. So, the abandonment thinking was here, so I needed to fit again in some place. So my place was being a guy who is traveling around the world. So I collect money, do crowdfunding, do a project, go around the world. So I started to think, what really matters in life? What really matters for me? I find 3 simple things that, I don't know, mattered to me or mattered at some point, and now they are like revolving around me and I don't know what to choose, but I'm 26 years old. I can decide my path now, so I'm just enjoying every day. So I find freedom, one of the things that I liked. I was in Kenya and I felt really free. I was in the middle of nowhere with internet connection and I didn't care about anything. Food was under the window, I had everything that I needed, and it was nature. I was free. But I was alone. Not something good. Then, the other thing, I wanted a career. So, at a certain point I started to deliver trainings to companies. But the money weren't so good. So I wasn't so satisfied with myself. Then, I want to have a relationship because in our days we are talking about this kind of thing, like you need to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, a wife or a husband, you have family, you need that. Even though you're feeling low. So what matters? I started to ask again because if you read, there are tons of blogs worldwide, there are tons of posts who are preaching, go have a very good job, how to have a very career, 10 steps to have a very good career, 10 steps to be happy, 10 steps So, who am I following? Good question. Going back with my abandonment thing, I get to a certain kick. The only thing that I can do, and I believe for me now is the best, is to accept myself. To accept myself. Probably it's good or not. I don't have a good answer to you. But the question is still on the table. What it matters. And the only thing that I can tell you is that in the moment when I accept myself who I am, and didn't try to please others and trying to fit in places and trying to give the best, I don't know, my mother was expecting, like last May, I turned my head red. And my mother was like, you're gonna embarrass me. If you come to Botoșani, they will know that it's my kid and I raised him really, really bad. And I was like, so I need to fit in a place. It's not good. And at a certain point, I started to accept myself who I am and started to just live my life. And I told her like, okay, probably I will not keep my hair like that. I just have it in a bucket list. I'm a story maker. I make really stupid things. I came here in front and tried to deliver you a speech that I have in my head with no concerns, with no, how to call it, smoke in front and trying to present you as, I don't know, a person who is like, I don't know, creating really big things. No, I'm dealing with the same problem, same question, what it matters in my head, day in and day out. Hired back in a multinational company, trying to love what I do, loving to talk in front of the people, and trying to understand the people around me.